Should young Muslim girls be allowed to wear the hijab in the classroom? This question has polarized Karnataka and its college campuses. In the last month or so, there have been at least 2 incidents where girl students studying in 2 different colleges in the state have been denied entry into their classrooms because they were wearing the hijab or the headscarf. Now, even as these students were protesting against their college's decision, there were counter-protests against the wearing of hijab by other college students wearing the saffron scarf. So what is the hijab controversy all about? How has the Karnataka government reacted? And is the wearing of the hijab against the college dress code in the state? Let me explain. But before I go into that, I just want to quickly remind you that the News Minute has been covering the story very closely, and these kind of stories take time, effort and resources, which is why we cannot do this without your support. So become a member of the News Minute today. We have 2 types of membership starting at 1,179 rupees for an entire year. Also, to catch every episode of Let Me Explain, which comes out every week, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So it all started on December 27th last year when 8 girl students belonging to the Women's Government Pre-University College in Udupi were barred from entering their classroom because they were wearing the headscarf. Now, it's been over a month, but the matter is yet to be resolved. These students who are studying in classes 11 and 12 have been allowed to enter their college campuses but barred from their classrooms and have therefore been marked absent all this while. These students say that wearing the hijab is a part of their faith and it is their right to do so.
Like, what's a crime? I don't know, but for just wearing a piece of shawl, they're not letting us inside the class.
ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ 76 ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಅವರ ಇಷ್ಟ ಸರ್ ಹಾಕುದು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ರೈಟ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಸರ್, ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲ, ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಇದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಸಹ ಹೋರಾಡ್ತೇವೆ.
This brings me to why some Muslim women wear the hijab and why some others don't. And this comes down to how the Muslim religious texts are interpreted. In Islam, hijab refers to the principle of modesty, on how you dress and how you behave. And this applies to both men and women. Now, like I said, the rules of modesty are open to interpretation, which is why some women don't wear the hijab. But women who wear the hijab do so in front of any man they could theoretically marry. Of course, many women also wear the hijab to assert their Muslim identity and for many other reasons as well. Okay, now back to the hijab controversy. These 8 girls started wearing the hijab in December last year when they realized that there was no specific rule preventing them from doing so. In fact, they say that their parents did request the college authorities to allow them to wear the hijab, but they received no response. So why has the college barred them from entering the classroom? The principal has cited uniformity as the reason to ban the hijab. So the next question is whether government colleges in Karnataka have a dress code and have these students violated this? The short answer is that the Karnataka government doesn't really enforce a dress code on its colleges. It's left this decision up to the colleges themselves or to the development monitoring committees. Now, interestingly, the development monitoring committee in the Udupi college is headed by BJP MLA Raghupati Bhatt. He says that this college has had a uniform since 1985, and if the state government makes it mandatory to wear the uniform, then there's no question of allowing the hijab. It's important to point out here that these 8 students have been wearing the uniform all along, just that it's now with the hijab, which is why many activists have called the ban Islamophobic, because it targets the students' religious identity. Even as these girls were barred from class, in 2 other pre-university colleges in Chikmagalur and Mangaluru, there were counter-protests against the hijab by ABVP students who took to wearing saffron scarves. Now, in both these instances, the PU colleges decided to ban both the hijab and the saffron scarf, saying that the dress code must be followed. The protests forced the Karnataka government to set up an expert committee to resolve the hijab controversy. According to its order issued on January 25th, the committee will study the dress code and uniform rules followed in other states, as well as look into court orders on the issue. The state government also said that with regard to the Udupi hijab controversy, the status quo will continue. That is, the students will have to wear the uniform until the issue is discussed by the expert committee.
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ತೆಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಇಲ್ದಿರೆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಆವರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನೀವು ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಒಂದು ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಇಲಾಖೆಗೂ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
These 8 students have still not attended class. In fact, one of the students has now approached the Karnataka High Court seeking directions to her college to allow her to enter the classroom wearing the hijab. In her petition, she argues that wearing the hijab is her fundamental right and that the constitution guarantees her the right of equality and the freedom to practice her religion. Even as these girls await some relief from the court or from the expert committee, on February 3rd, over 20 Muslim students were barred from the Kundapur Government Pre-University College for wearing the hijab. Now, unlike the Udupi case, here these girls were wearing the hijab for a long time. The college's sudden decision may have been triggered by events from the previous day. On February 2nd, a group of students belonging to the same college protested against the girls wearing the hijab by wearing saffron scarves. This forced the college authorities along with the Kundapur BJP MLA to hold a meeting with the parents of the Muslim girls.
ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಹಿಂದೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಡೇಸ್ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಸರ್, ಆ ಡೇಸ್ಗೆ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ಓಣಂ ಇದೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಹೋಲಿ ಇದೆ, ನೋಬಡಿ ಆರ್ ಅಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್, ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಆರ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್. ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ನಮ್ದು ಹಿಜಾಬ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಇಸ್ಲಾಮಿಕ್ ರೂಲ್, ನಮ್ದು ಪಾರಂಪರೆ, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಈಗ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಸೊ ಅಷ್ಟು ತನಕ ಆಗ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು ಅಪೋಸ್? ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಪೋಸ್?
ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಂತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಬರಬಾರ್ದು, ಗೇಟಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಮಕ್ಕಳಂತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ರವರ್ಸಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಭೇದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
This college too has now banned the hijab and saffron scarves. But girls point out that saffron scarves are not part of Hindu religion. This means that these 20 odd Muslim girls will also have to sit out their classes until they remove their headscarves. The campaign against the hijab is hardly new to the coastal Karnataka region. Similar protests have been held since 2009 in several colleges in the state. But these are no longer isolated incidents against the Muslim community. Take, for example, the recent controversy over students offering namaz in a school in Kolar. Let's be clear, what's happening in Karnataka is not isolated cases of Islamophobia. It's the targeted harassment of the Muslim community. The Newsminute will continue to track this story very closely. If you've liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends.